Hi friends, welcome back. So today's video is going to be a pretty fun one. I'm really excited for it. I've been wanting to do a video like this for a while. So as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be going through my houseplants today, and I'm going to pick out 25 plants that would be the plants that I would keep if I could only keep 25 plants. So I have around 100 plants, and so I'm going to be picking about, a fourth of those plants. So this is going to be kind of difficult, and I'm really excited to see what plants I decide to choose, because I haven't really thought about this yet. I kind of wanted to record my thought process as I'm picking out the plants. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so we're gonna start in here because this is where a lot of my plants are. And we're just gonna go with like the most obvious ones first. So I'm gonna go, I need my step stool. So the first one I'm gonna go with, of course, is my string of hearts. And this vine is like fully wrapped around it. This Hoya vine. There we go. So first plant is the string of hearts, and I'm just going to be sitting all these plants in a pile on the floor over here so that I can look at them all once I have them sat out. The next plant I'm going to go with is actually going to be the Hoya that's right beside it, because I'm really liking this plant right now. All the new growth it's getting is super pretty, so this one has to go in the pile. This one has vines that are like wrapped all around and up to. I haven't taken this plant down from its spot in a while just because it is so difficult for me to reach. But now that I can really get a good look at it, this plant is so full and so healthy looking. Look at these new leaves. They're so pretty. I am really enjoying this plant right now. I'd kind of like to get it on a trellis, but then again, I also really like how it looks trailing. So I might need to check and see if it needs repotted soon. It probably doesn't. But I should probably check on it a little bit. So that's plant number 1 and number 2. Next we're gonna go over here, and I'm gonna go with my philodendron fuzzy petiole because I grew this plant back from like nothing, and I'm really liking it. I think the leaf shape is really pretty, and this is its newest leaf, and it's growing pretty well for me. I really like how it looks. The next plant I'm going to go with is my big, what is this called? Prickly pear cactus. I think it's a type of prickly pear cactus. I got it at a nursery in Washington, and it didn't really have like a specific label on it, but it grows really quick, and it's really neat looking. It's like it just has a different growth pattern than I've seen a lot of cactuses have. I thought it was a jungle cactus for a while until I started doing some more research, and now I'm pretty certain it's a type of prickly pear cactus. This is its newest, I don't know if you'd call it a leaf, not a leaf, but newest little pad, and it has some new growth at the very top there too. Number 5, I have to go with my Hoya macrophylla because I'm still just obsessed with this new leaf, and I really want it to get growing quicker because I really like how it looks and I want it to be full, but I'm very happy with how it's looking right now. Number 6, I'm standing on my chair, but number 6 is going to be my Hoya crinkle. Okay, I just have it like leaning against the macrophylla, but this is my Hoya crinkle. It is in a hanging basket, and if you can see in here, one of the vines is like growing through the holes of the macrame, which is kind of an issue because I'm not going to be able to take it out. I think that since these leaves are still newer, I want to try to take it out sooner so that they're more flexible, so I don't risk breaking them off as much. So I'm gonna have to try that soon before these leaves finish like hardening off, because then they won't be very easy to move. But this one has a lot of new growth as well, and these new leaves are looking a little bit sun stressed, which I really like. I think that looks really neat. And again, it just is hanging in front of this window. It doesn't get a ton of direct light, so I'm kind of surprised it's sun stressing, but I really like how it's looking. Okay, so that's 6. And the next one is going to be kind of a 4 plants in 1 deal, because I'm choosing all of the plants that are currently in this little cloche that I have, and I'll go sit it down and show you guys each of the plants individually. Okay, so this is my cloche. I'll show you the varicosum first. This is my philodendron varicosum. This plant I've really been struggling with. It was doing really well when I first got it. And now I have 2 cuttings of it, and this one's doing the best, but it's still just a 1 leaf little cutting, and I've had it for months now, and it just looks very puny. It has a new leaf that's on the way, but I don't know. It seems to be like every time a new leaf comes out, the old leaf dies off. But I've been trying to do better about keeping up on watering it and keeping it in here where it has better humidity. And so I'm hoping that maybe by the end of summer it'll have a few leaves and I can start like adjusting it to room humidity and growing it. Because normally, like, I've seen a lot of people who can grow this in just regular room humidity. I think I just have to wait until it gets a bit more established. Next, I want to talk about my snake plant. I really like this plant because I grew it back from like a little stub, so it's very sentimental to me. I also just really like how it looks. I think I talked about this in my last video too, how much I like this plant, but yeah, I'm really excited to keep watching this grow and take on that like finger-like shape that it has. And I have 2 of them in here. And then this is a recent plant that I've gotten. This is my philodendron painted lady, and if you can see, we have a new leaf coming in finally. It's been rooting in moss. I bought this from the houseplant hippies in town, here in Vincent's, and yeah, this is a really good cutting. It was already starting to root, but I just had it, I wanted it to root a little bit more. In some high humidity, and so it's been doing that, and now it is finally growing for me. And then the last plant in here, you guys already know, my philodendron palmanii that I've been on a journey with. I really like it, but it has been a little bit difficult for me, a little bit finicky. But if you can see, we have another new leaf coming in. This is its most recent one, and it looks really good. It's a little like sun bleached, I think. So I actually moved the terrarium back from the window a little bit because I think some of the plants in there were just not very happy with how direct the sunlight was. But there is a new leaf coming in that I'm really excited to see. And I repotted this in a recent video, so I have it adjusting to being in soil. And then the next step, probably after this leaf comes out, will be to start transitioning it out of the cloche because it'll just be too big at that point. Man, we already have 10 plants and I haven't even like gotten through most of the plant room yet. This is going to be really difficult. I can't be without this little succulent. I love this succulent. I don't know why. I just think it's so cute. It's in this little like pot, like handmade clay pot that I got at the rendezvous last year, and it just looks so cute. It has like another plant growing out of the side of it, and I just love how like cute and compact it is. Like, it's not leggy at all. It's just growing so well. So this one has to be in spot number 11. And then I probably should have grabbed this one first because it's up there and now these plants are in the way. So I'm probably honestly just going to leave it up there, but this will be number 12, is this pothos. just because I've had it for a really long time and it's just gotten so long and full. I just really like how it looks. I bought it as a pretty small plant a couple years ago, and it's just, pothos are just such easy, like simple ways to add green to like lower light areas. Like this spot isn't extremely low light. Like it's really happy here because it's getting a decent amount of light, but it could do well in even a darker spot than this. And so I just really like how it looks and how it grows. It's very simple, very underrated plant. In my opinion anyway. I just really like pothos. The next plant is going to be this succulent that we got when we went to Michigan on our honeymoon. The lady we stayed with, Wendy, gifted this to me, and it's one of my favorite succulents, so this will have to be in spot number 13. We're like over halfway there now, and I'm not gonna have enough spots to choose the plants I want. Okay, there are still a lot more plants in here that I would want to keep, but we're going to go ahead and move into my bedroom. Okay, so my bedroom, the first plant that I absolutely could not go without is this asparagus fern. I knew that I was going to choose this before I even started the video. Like this plant is just a no-brainer for me. Let me take it into the room so that I can actually show you guys a little bit better. Okay, so here again, this is my asparagus fern. I love how this plant looks. The delicate little, like, dainty feather-like fronds. I think they're just so beautiful. This one is its most recent leaf, and I wish I could, like, focus it a little better, but they're just so like thin and dainty that the camera doesn't pick up on them very well. This is a pretty common plant that I've seen, so I highly recommend if you guys find this at like a big box store that you pick it up because it's super easy and super pretty, and yeah, it's a very well deserved spot number 13. Don't eat it. Don't. No. 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 Come on. Baby. You cannot eat your mama's plants. I'm sorry. Just spilled dirt everywhere. But anyway, this plant is super pretty. Look at these new leaves. With the veining and the shine on it, and just how like it hangs down, the way it trails is really pretty. Like, that's just such a pretty plant. I like how little the leaves are because it's the only like smaller leaf Hoya that I have. And I just think it looks really cool. It's got like a little bit of splashiness to it and just a really neat shape. So that is plant number 14. Number 16, as I'm sure no one will be surprised by, is my trailing philodendron, the Hartley philodendron. I've had this plant for a long time. It's grown really well for me. It's kind of like a pothos in the sense that like it can kind of grow anywhere and it's really simple. It seems to really like this window that it's in. It has this one long vine and then some new growth even on top. I think the top is getting a bit bare, but I can always propagate and add in some cuttings. But yeah, pretty fast grower, really easy, and just a very like understated plant. Okay, and this plant is in spot number 15. Okay, back in the plant room again. I want to add this Thanksgiving cactus that I really like. It's very full and I repotted it recently and I just love how it looks in the terracotta. I had it hanging in like a hanging basket that my grandma gave it to me in, but half the plant had died, so the pot was really bare. So I repotted it into this and it seems to really be liking it. And I just think it's a very, very easy plant. It likes more water than most cactuses because it's a tropical cactus, which most people don't know are a thing. But it's very simple, and it looks like it's gonna bloom for me soon, which is really weird because normally this plant only blooms around Thanksgiving. That's why it has that name. But I'm not complaining because the blooms are really pretty as well. So that'll be spot number 16. Spot number 17 is going to be this terrarium right here, and I'll go in there and show you guys the inside of it a little more. So this is one of the first terrariums I've made, and it just has some moss in it and a fern that I just like found growing outside. So that's pretty special to me. It has some like neat rocks and a pine cone in here, and it's just been doing so well since I planted everything in here. The moss has been growing, and I've taken a few cuttings from the moss to like propagate and make more moss, which has been pretty fun. So yeah, it's a pretty simple little setup. Number 18 is, I'm gonna see if it'll topple over. This is going to be my philodendron hastatum that I have growing on a moss pole. I repotted it recently out of terracotta, and when I did, it like some of the roots got stuck to the terracotta, and a lot of the roots broke off, so I hope that it'll be okay. I'm just keeping the soil watered, and I really like the underside of this plant, of the leaves, because they've got this really pretty red color. It's like almost burgundy, and I just have it on this moss pole, and hopefully it'll grow. I'm really hoping the root loss won't damage it too much, but I really want it to grow up this moss pole. So I'm trying to be patient with it, and hopefully it'll start growing soon. Okay, number 19 is going to be this plant right here, my lithops, or otherwise known as the stone plant. I had this plant once before and it died. I did just water it recently. If you see the wrinkles, that's how I knew to water. But this one seems to be doing pretty well. I just really like how it looks. I think it's a really unique type of plant. So yeah, this will be number 19. I of course can't go without my little baby cactus seedlings. I just love them so much. They're growing so slow, which like cactuses do just grow slow, but they're just so cute and tiny, and it's very sentimental to me just because I did grow them from seed, and I have like watched them grow from, absolutely nothing to what they are now. So this is a very special little group of plants to me. So that is number 20. We have 5 more plants to go. Okay, number 21. I'm going to count this as just one plant, but it is my fish tank terrarium that has my jewel orchid in it, which is getting ready to bloom. If you can see, I'm really excited for that. I've never had this plant bloom for me before. It has my Monstera Ansonii, my variegated Hoya carnosa, and my philodendron SP silver, and then this little plant, peperomia, and just some moss in it. And this is one of my favorite terrariums as well. It's doing pretty well. It does have fungus gnats, if you can see the trap back there. But yeah, this plant is, or this group of plants is very special to me, so I'm counting this as number 21. Number 22, I have to go with my philodendron micans because it's just such a classic, beautiful plant. His name is Matt, and I've had Matt for probably a few years now. It's just such a staple house plant. Like I could grow it trailing, I could grow it climbing, and it's just a very easy plant. I'm not gonna go with Stacy because Stacy is technically Wade's plant, so even though I love her and I would definitely want to keep her, I'm not counting it as my own because that would be Wade's plant that he would choose to keep. So that kind of gets her a free pass. But Matt is one of my favorites for sure, so we're going to add him to the pile as number 22. Guys, this is getting increasingly difficult to choose plants because I really like a lot of them. They only have 3 spots left. So let's go into my kitchen. Okay, number 23, I have to have this calathea because it is the first and only calathea I've ever been able to, knock on wood, successfully grow and keep alive. It's a red calathea and it's just so beautiful. I just love it. It does have some dry spots, but that's perfectly fine with me because it's alive and growing, and I'm just very proud of it because this is a plant that I envied for the longest time, anyone who could keep it alive, and finally I am getting the chance to grow it. I do really want the lemon lime philodendron. Or not philodendron, lemon lime calathea, because that plant is just so beautiful to me. I've had cuttings of it before that have all pretty quickly died on me, so I'd really like to grow that at some point. Number 24, I'm gonna make this Syngonium batik. This is one of very few Syngoniums I have, and I feel like I just have to have one in my collection. Like it's a staple houseplant. It adds a lot of it's a very different leaf shape than a lot of houseplants, which I really like. And just the pattern on this, like, I don't know if you'd call this variegation or not. I guess it'd be called variegation, but this is just so pretty. Here's its newest leaf, and I just love it. So this is a well-deserving spot number 24. Yeah, I gotta have one of these in my collection no matter what. Okay, and spot number 25, which may surprise people a little bit because I was thinking about getting rid of this plant for a little bit, but it is going to be my African violet. This plant is just so simple. It's very understated, which if you've noticed a theme, I really like my more understated plants. I do have a few in here that are very like out there, but my most favorite just tend to be the ones that are easy and not too fussy. So I think this one is going to be number 25 just because the flowers are so beautiful and it's just such a simple and easy plant. Okay guys, so there are still so many plants that I would like to keep, like all of my philodendron golden goddess and my silver sword, and I have a couple more Hoya, or I have one more Hoya that I would like to keep, and my other Syngonium that I'd like to keep, and a lot of my cactuses that I'd like to keep. But this is the final group of, if I could only keep 25 plants, it would be these ones right here. Just because a lot of these have been in my collection for a while, and so I've grown really sentimental towards them. I'm finding that I'm more of a like sentimental person when it comes to my houseplants. I grow more attached the longer I have them. And like a lot of these were gifted to me by people, like the Thanksgiving cactus was from my grandma, the calatheas from my mom. There's a plant in the terrarium from Joyce, and a couple of these that have been from Wade. So a lot of these are just like really sentimental to me and very important. They just bring me a lot of joy. So if I had to keep only 25, it would be this group right here. Let me know if you guys are surprised by this at all, if there are any other plants in my collection that you would have kept if you had the chance to. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a different type of video, but I had a lot of fun making it. And maybe this will inspire me to downsize my collection a little bit, just because I feel like I should just give my attention to the plants that I enjoy the most, because I don't have all the time in the world to take care of all these plants. So I'm kind of wanting to downsize a little bit. I'm not going to get rid of like 75% of my plants. Like there are still so many plants that I couldn't put on this list that I would have kept, as I mentioned earlier, but maybe it'll inspire me to be a little more aware of my preferences when I'm buying plants. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!